Welcome to the Adaptable Entrepreneur. I'm Coach Carter, helping out all these smaller or beginning entrepreneurs not make the same mistakes as I did. And I call myself the Adaptable Entrepreneur because I've been an entrepreneur for about 20 years and in a lot of different industries and done a lot of different things, made a lot of different mistakes, made a lot of the same mistakes. And that's what I want to talk about today is a major mistake that I think a lot of young entrepreneurs make, a lot of beginning, not just young, but beginning entrepreneurs make. And that is thinking that the deal is done before the money clears, before the check is cashed. Now, you may get a check from somebody. They might say, yes, let's make this deal. Here is the check. Here is the money. But that check, until that check goes through into your bank account and you have the funds on the side of your bank account, that deal is not done. There's so many times that happens. That people are going to promise us, oh yeah, next week I'm getting you that 50K, or investors, yep, just give me what you need, and we're gonna take care of that and fund you and yada yada. The deal is not done until that money has cleared. We are so eager as young entrepreneurs and beginning entrepreneurs, because I'm not young anymore, but still so eager that we want it to go through. We're willing it to go through, willing that deal. We're always made the first sale and we're so excited and we got a check. Remember, don't spend that money until that check has cleared. And it sounds kind of obvious, but until you're in that position where you're stressed, right? I got to move into this new office and they're saying they're going to give me $20,000 next week. This investor, yada, yada, whatever, maybe this person that owes you money is going to give you this money. Maybe you made a sale and they're going to pay next week. Don't move into that office until that money has cleared. And that's going to be the theme of today, because it is the most important thing. We make so many mistakes, and it's running your business not by looking at your cash flow. It's a lot of things that we've talked about. It's assuming best case scenario. Oh, that money's coming in next week, so let me sign that 5-year lease, and then that money comes in and we're good. Do you know how many times that has happened? That has happened to me at least 2-3 times. It's fucking stupid because we're so eager to get to the next spot or make this move that we just assume, we hope that it's coming in, right? Because we want it to come in. It has to come in, or the business is done. And if it doesn't come in, we're fucked and your whole life's fucking over, right? Well, that's not the case. There's always going to be tomorrow. And that's so hard to hear as an entrepreneur that's struggling, but it's true. And it's even worse. So okay, let's play out this scenario. It's bad if you need $50,000, if someone's going to pay you $50,000 so you can move into your big office or whatever it's going to be. You're going to make that next move and you need that money. It's bad if that money doesn't come in quick enough and you can't get that office. That's bad. That sucks. Maybe it takes you take a little hit to your ego, to your pride, which sucks. It hurts, especially as an entrepreneur that needs to keep up appearances, right? We got to look cool. We got to look smart. We got to look rich because we're trying to sell and we're trying to fucking survive. But you know what's worse is getting into that office and signing that lease and signing that personal, lease where you are the personal responsibility, and then the money doesn't come in, right? That's the worst fucking thing that's going to happen. Now you're on the hook for that huge lease or whatever it may be, or that huge piece of machinery, or that even that person. Like that's a horrible thing too. You might hire that person and promise them, okay, guess what? Yeah, we're getting this investment in, so check it out. We're getting $1 million next month. Come on board. We're gonna pay you for that next year. Yada yada. We got your contract all set up, and then that money doesn't come in, and now you owe that person. You got to fire that person. Either way, it's a shitty feeling. It's a shitty place to be in. So the point is to not be overeager and to realize that the world isn't going to end if you don't make that move, right? you gotta believe it's a terrible feeling. It's hard because you have that pride, and like I just mentioned, you want to keep moving forward. That's all we try to do as entrepreneurs, right? We try to move forward. We got to make that next deal. We got to jump into that next office space so we can look good here and make this big sale, and then we can get this, and then we can get this investor, and then we can get this employee. Once we have $2 million in the bank, we can hire the CEO that we need, whatever it is. But you can't make that forward move until that you have that actual money in the bank. There have been so many times. I mean, I just remember when I think about my entrepreneurial journey over the last 20 years, how many times was money promised that never came through? I mean, Jesus, all these stories are just coming back about. I mean, we even had one story when we were first running our first magazine. We had about 5 or 6 partners, and one of the partners, he owned a nightclub, and he was kind of our business guy, business savvy guy, knew all these people, and there was a deal on the table that he was going to get like $1 million to go and make sure that this shipment from this sounds like a scam, from Africa got to Africa, then back to the United States. So he knew this guy that had this shipment of lumber or whatever the fuck it was, I don't remember right now. He was going to get $1 million check just to make sure that it went through, right? I mean, sounds like a total fucking scam. Even back then when I was 24 years old, I was like, this sounds like a fucking scam, dude. But it's still in the back of my head, I'm like, but if it's not, man, like, we're struggling entrepreneurs, right? We're trying to print a magazine and fucking get paid. And he's telling us stuff like, hey, when I get this, everyone here is going to get $50,000 in their account, and we're going to do this, and we're going to move into this office. And we have these huge dreams, right? And we're kind of like, oh, this is cool. Like, this might actually fucking happen, dude. This guy, he went to Africa. He went to fucking Africa to make sure this deal went through. Oh, but guess what? Something happened, and yada yada, that didn't go through, and he never got the $1 million check, and we're stuck sitting there going, okay, well, we still got to sell some ads to print this magazine and pay ourselves. And and like I said, even though I kind of didn't think it was going to go through, I kind of still did think it was going to go through because I was young, right? And he was our business guy. He wanted this was a big thing, a big opportunity. And so, and that sounds ridiculous, but there's so many other things. We had another investor that was going to give us $50,000 so we could, I think, move into an office and print more magazines and all this stuff. And he was just keeping us just on the line, like, okay, it's coming in next week. We're doing this, we're doing that. He had the money. He gave us a check. And then he's like, hold on, just cash it tomorrow because these people are transferring all these funds, right? I mean, total just scam when I'm thinking about it. But then I was thinking, why is he trying to scam us? What does he get out of this? Is he just trying to screw us over? And, still to this day, I don't know why. But yeah, that money never came through. We did move into that office, and we did, try to, at least we didn't do too much. We didn't try to print more magazines that month or whatever it was. But we were expecting that $50,000. Now we're in this lease, and we have to sublet this lease and do all this extra stuff just to make it through because we were counting on that $50,000 to come in, right? I mean, these things will happen if you're an entrepreneur long enough, and sometimes they happen right in the beginning, and it's because we want, like I say, we're eager, we want to make that money, we want to keep moving forward, and we kind of like turn a blind eye. Hey, this could work, right? Like, I need this to work. You're almost like at that desperate that desperate feeling, and it's just, I just want people to know that don't make that same mistake, right? Don't move into that office. Wait till that money comes in. If that money never came in, guess what? We would have been out of an office for a few weeks. We'd have had to find something else, something cheaper. That's not the worst thing in the world. A way worse thing is that we are now in this office and having to pay this huge rent. So many examples. I mean, then when we get to Dope Magazine, so many times investors come in, oh yeah, how much do you need? We'll get this next week, we'll get this next month, we'll get this in 3 months. Don't worry, everything's fully funded. You guys do what you need to do. Hire these people. We're gonna bring in some people too, and you're gonna pay them because they're really smart people. Oh man, I'm gonna do a podcast on that one once. Um, but all of these overpromise money, all this overpromise of money happens all the time, and you got to be smart. You can't be too eager. You got to run your business with your cash flow sheet. You can look at your investors and go, yeah, I know you want me to hire this CEO, but we don't have the money, so I can't hire this person and then have you not put that money in. So I'm sorry, we're not going to hire that CEO until the money's actually in our account, because that happens all the time. You get pressured. Oh, promise, I promise. These investors are really good people. They're my friend, or they're my friend's friend, or dad's friend, or I've known these guys for years and they're just really great at business. That stuff's going to happen all the time. And you just have to protect yourself. That's at the end of the day, you have to protect yourself. You have to make sure that you have enough money to make the right moves and not count on something else, right? Don't the deal's not done until that check is actually cleared into your account. Cleared into your account, then you can make the next move. Because if you just wait, or if you expect it to go through, it's usually it doesn't. And that's the funny thing about being an entrepreneur. And money, you have all these opportunities because you're always looking for these opportunities. So they're always coming at you, and you have to you have to be smart. You have to pick and choose the right ones, obviously, but you have to be patient. That's a huge learning experience that I didn't know until, gosh, I was probably 10 or 15 years into being an entrepreneur. I'm like, wow, when I slow down a little bit and get a little patient, things happen a little bit better. We're not rushing into bad situations because we're trying to survive. We're trying to make the next move. We're being smart. And it's hard to be patient when you're a beginning entrepreneur and you're looking at your personal bank account going, I don't have any money. Oh man, this investor is going to tell me they're going to put 50 grand into our account. I can pay myself when that happens. Oh my gosh, I'll do anything. What do you need me to do? You need me to move into this office? You need me to hire this person? Like you will want to do that. There'll be a lot of times that you might get put into that position, but you have to just wait. You have to be smart, because it doesn't always come through. That money does not always come through, and that money can take time as well. That's another thing. Some people will say, yes, we're going to invest. Oh, but we can get the money in 9 months. So you can't start making the moves now until you get that money in the account. Doesn't matter who it is, if it's your best friend, your freaking parents, your really rich uncle, or an investor you've never known. It does not matter. Do not make that move until that money is in your account, so you can actually spend that money. If you're spending money that you don't have, you're going to be in really bad positions. Trust me. I've been like I just mentioned two of them. We've been in really bad positions because we were so eager just to keep things moving, keep the lights on. Well, you know what? Maybe you have to pay that bill a week late. You might have to just wait. You might have to not get that office. You might not have to hire that person. The right opportunity will come around. You missing out on a good employee is bad, but what's worse is you hiring that employee, not being able to pay that employee suing you, or you having to fire that employee because you overpromised and underdelivered. That's the bad part. That's the worst part. So you have to grow with your expenses. And you might look at or hear me and go, you know what? Yeah, dude, that's fucking obvious. But it's not. It's not obvious when you're in the shit. And it might be obvious. I think I mentioned this on one of my Instagram reels, where I said, making decisions when you're prepping to be an entrepreneur or prepping to open that business, and putting all your numbers together, and creating your business plan, and then going like, yeah, if this happens, I'm going to do this. That's very easy to sit here and listen and go, oh yeah, this is going to be easy. If they don't give me the money, I'm just not going to make that choice. But the hard part is when you're actually in the shit. You're actually an entrepreneur. You've opened up your business. You have a payroll. You have rent. You have expenses. You have people counting on you. And now you got to make that decision. Hey guys, we got to move into this new office. Or hey, we need to hire this person to make this sale. Well, we don't have enough money to. That's the time. That's when you're really going to get tested. So you have to be patient, even in that time when it just feels so shitty, like I'm going to miss out on an opportunity and everything's going to be gone. Well, guess what? It's not. You're not going to fucking lose it because you didn't hire that one person, all right? There's other people that you can hire when you actually have the money. And it's going to be a lot better of a situation when you hire when you're ready than if you just like, oh, let's hire this person and hope this money comes in. Because that usually doesn't end up to be a good situation. So be patient. God, how many times have I heard that? How many times have like Gary Vee said that, right? And you just sit there and you're like, fucking shut up, man. I'm just trying to make money. Yeah. No, it's true though. It's 1,000% true. Be patient. It takes time to understand how to be an entrepreneur, to understand that you actually need money in your account to 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 move forward and not just hope that it's coming in. Even if if you make that sale and they're paying next week, well, hey, don't wait till next week till you make all your moves. Wait till that check has cleared. Gosh, it's such a simple concept, but it's really, really, really hard to do when you're under all that pressure. And that's the biggest thing about being an entrepreneur too. Is just that immense amount of pressure. You're under this pressure all the time. You can't sleep. You're just worried about how you're going to pay for all these things. And you have this one investor where you're like, oh my God, this person is going to save my life because they're going to give me $500,000 and we're going to be able to do everything we can. Well, it never turns out like that. It's still going to be a pain in the ass. It's still going to be hard. That money's going to come in and alleviate a few things if it comes in, but it's still going to be stressful. It's not the end all be all. It's your mindset. It's your mindset. So if you can have a patient mindset and understand that that's going to take time and that you can't make moves until you have that money, you're going to be so much more successful. Because if you're in that rush, got to just get to the next move, got to get to the next person, got to get to the next sale, got to get to the next office space. We just got to look good and keep up appearances. You're going to get yourself into a lot of fucking trouble, like a lot of trouble. Trust me. Look at me. I've done it. I've done it. Thank God. Thank God I've been adaptable and been able to get back on my feet after every single freaking mistake that I've made over the last 20 years. And that's what being an entrepreneur is about. But, now I look at like this week, for example, was a tough week. Some personal things happened, some family things happened, things at one of my restaurants went really bad. We lost a full-time baker. One of our cooks broke his ankle. So one of my partners is working like a freaking dog, and all this bad stuff's happening. And I'm just like, damn, dude, like 10 years ago, this would have like melted me. I would have been like, holy shit, what are we going to do? We can't keep up. We're going to have to close. Like the worst things have been going through my head. And now I'm like, shit, I've been through worse. This sucks. But like, hey, we got to keep moving. Like, okay, now I stop and I go, what do we got to do to keep moving? Let's keep moving forward, keep progressing. We got money to make a couple of moves here and there. Let's make these moves and stay patient and things are going to work out. So stay strong out there, especially you beginning entrepreneurs. It's hard. It gets a lot easier, but it takes time. But listen to these lessons and don't make the same mistakes that I did. Don't freaking spend that money before the damn check has been cashed. Because even if there's the nicest investor handing you $1 million check, until it's cashed, check's a piece of fucking paper, right? As it could bounce, and now you've spent $1 million. Now you're $1 million in debt because you've got a fucking check that bounced. So lots of bad things can happen. Listen to these lessons. Try to utilize them. I'm just going to keep giving to them every single week. But I'm going to sign off, and hopefully, you small time and beginning entrepreneurs are really listening. If you have any questions, you reach out on Instagram, Coach Carter _entrepreneur, or on the website, theadaptableentrepreneur.co. We'll talk to you soon.